Welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Consciousness, Part 28. From Sri Aurobindo. If one has to get to a new consciousness, which surpasses the reasoning intellect, can one do it on lines which are to be judged and understood by the reasoning intellect, controlled at every step by it, told by the intellect what it is to do, what is the measure of its achievements, what its steps must be, and what their value? If one does that, will one ever get out of the range of the reasoning intelligence into what is beyond it? And if one does, how shall others judge what one is doing by the intellectual measure? How can one judge what is beyond the ordinary consciousness when one is oneself in the ordinary consciousness? Is it not only by exceeding yourself that you can feel, experience, judge what exceeds you? What is the value of a judgment without the feeling and experience? What the supramental will do, the mind cannot foresee or lay down. The mind is ignorance seeking for the truth. The supramental, by its very definition, is truth consciousness. Truth, in possession of itself and fulfilling itself by its own power. In the supramental world, imperfection and disharmony are bound to disappear. But what we propose just now is not to make the earth a supramental world, but to bring down the supramental as a power and establish the consciousness in the midst of the rest, to let it work there and fulfill itself as mind descended into life and matter and has worked as a power there to fulfill itself in the midst of the rest. This will be enough to change the world and to change nature by breaking down her present limits. But what, how, by what degrees it will do it, is the thing that ought not to be said now. When the light is there, the light will itself do its work. When the supramental will stands on earth, that will decide. It will establish a perfection, a harmony, a truth creation. For the rest, well, it will be the rest. That is all. You have missed altogether the qualifying words which I put with great care and prominent emphasis. If you don't read carefully, you will necessarily misunderstand what I write. I said, this transformation cannot be done individually in a solitary way only. No individual solitary transformation apart from the work for the earth, which means more than any individual transformation, would be either possible or useful. Also, no individual human being can by his own power alone work out the transformation, nor is it the object of the Yuga to create an individual Superman here and there. The object of the Yuga is to bring down the supramental consciousness on earth, to fix it there, to create a new race with the principle of the supramental consciousness governing the inner and outer individual and collective life. Therefore, the existence of the ashram Whatever difficulties it created for ourselves or for the individual was inevitable. The method was a presentation of the Earth's consciousness in the human being, as represented by the members of the ashram and others, with also a certain working in the general Earth's consciousness, so as to make the descent of the supramental force possible. That force, accepted by individual after individual, according to their preparation, would establish the supramental consciousness in the physical world and so create a nucleus for its own expansion. As far as I can see, once the supramental is established in matter, the transformation will be possible under much less troublesome conditions than now are there. These bad conditions are due to the fact that the ignorance is in possession and the hostile powers an established authority, as it were, who do not care to give up their hold, and there is no full force of light established in the Earth's consciousness which would not only meet, but outweigh their full force of darkness.